Yes, yes, people. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're watching from. Hope you're all doing very, very well on this fantastic Thursday afternoon. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on this week, more than usual on a random week building up to the FA Cup final. We have plenty to talk about. You see the title. We're going to talk about what we've seen on social media this morning regarding our 115 charges. And if City are to be cleared in 2024, what does that mean for us moving forward? And what does that mean for the rest of world football? I would imagine a lot of piss will be boiled, and we're going to discuss all that. I want to talk a bit about company to Bayern Munich and the possibility, if he does well there, could he ever come to Manchester City? We're going to talk a bit about the league and a bit about the cup. You got myself, Joe, and making his first appearance on the channel is our first ever channel member, Mr. Harry Briggsy. How are you, my friend?
Yes then, lads. Thank you for having me. Top lads as always. We're always smashing the streams. I see you two working hard. Me as a moderator, helping you guys, supporting you. Absolutely quality. And now to be on the stream at last. What can I say? Let's fucking go.
Love it, mate. Love it. Listen, anybody else ever wants to come on the show, we're always willing to let channel members come on. So become a channel member if you wish to come on and join us for a chat. But Briggsy's a good friend of mine anyway, so it's great to have Briggsy on. Right, listen, Tommy, Joe and Briggsy has spoke this morning about our charges. He's put a gif of company dropping the mic saying City to be cleared this year. There will be zero ambiguity for rivals after it. So he is insinuating, people, that we are going to have our name officially cleared in the year 2024. Now, we all know, we don't know if this case has taken place, when it's going to take place. If it has taken place, we don't know. And all we've done up to now is listen to the club and what they've had to say regarding the charges. There's more and more talk about the charges by the day at the minute, because certain fan bases, certain people are not liking the fact that City are absolutely tearing apart and dominating English football right now. So I don't know, is this something worth looking into for you, Joe? I mean, how would you react to this?
The same way I've kind of reacted to the whole thing, like since the story came out, is I'm just trusting the club, but I'm hoping the timing works well. Do you know what I mean? My hopes and dreams to put everything in one package is you get to about November where, you know, Pep's contract, if he's going to sign a new one, it's normally in and around that period, isn't it? Sort of halfway through the season, November, December. Could you imagine a scenario where that rocks about, where we've maybe had our rocky period? Because that's what happens every season, isn't it? We get to November, December, we have a few poor results, everyone goes, they've lost it, they've lost the plot. Charges get cleared, Pep signs a new contract, go on a 20-game unbeaten run. Like, that is the stuff of dreams. But just in terms of the charges, like, I don't know whether I was expecting 2024 to be cleared. I really didn't think it'd be this soon, but it is getting a bit boring, isn't it? Because it just comes back every single time. Every time we win a game, 115 is trending on Twitter. Every time we win a trophy, 115 and cheats are trending. Like, it's just boring, and you run out of things. You run out of things to talk about. Like, I get that people want to talk about it because it's a big thing, but it's just... I'd rather watch paint dry at the moment, to be honest. I've talked about it so many times, and I'm just saying the same shit. It's boring, and I can't wait for it to be over. But if what Tommy's saying is true, and we're going to be cleared, then it's no small thing, because this is like probably the biggest legal situation regarding the Premier League that we'll probably ever see.
I'm ready for this to be done. I'm so ready for this to be done. I'm racking up my ammunition, because you know what? It's the last remaining excuse for all these losers and virgins out there to use for their own club's failures. There's too many people out there are unwilling to look within, unwilling to look at their own homes, inside their own houses, and go, what's gone wrong for us? Why can't we compete with Manchester City? Why can't we lift trophies like Manchester City? Why are they rewriting all the history books? Why are all the unique achievements now starting to go to the blue half of Manchester? Because Manchester City are run like a well-oiled machine. Manchester City have the best infrastructure, the best facilities, the best players, the best manager. We play the best football. We win the most trophies. And the last remaining thing anybody can use to discredit us is these 115 charges, these 115 charges that people look to throw in our face every time we have success. And these absolute saddos like to believe that this affects us, that this bothers me. You know what I'm saying? Like when I come on a stream or I do a show or I go on the Big Six and I'm gassing up City, which I will continue to do. I will always continue to do. And the chat's going 115, 115, 115. Like what do you think that's doing to me? You know what I'm saying? You're getting Chelsea fans coming in. Who the fuck are Chelsea fans to talk about Manchester City right now? It's an absolute cesspit. They've had as many managers since Todd Bowley came in that we've had since Sheikh Mansour came in. Don't fucking talk to us about how our club has run Chelsea. You have Manchester United fans typing out 115. Who the fuck are you lot to talk about charges when you've been found guilty of something and right now you're trying to tap up Dan Ashworth as well, which is totally illegal. You've got Liverpool fans coming in claiming about 115 when the reality is your greatest Premier League manager of all time, Jurgen Klopp, he just simply wasn't good enough. He got tired of competing with Pep, so he's gone back to Germany to put his feet up because he's got his tail between his legs. You've got Arsenal fans now. Arsenal fans who are some of the most bitter of them all right now, can't understand the fact that we gave them Zinchenko, Jesus, Arteta, said, go, here's your platform and have a go with us. 2 years in a row they failed and they're still talking about 115, you're irrelevant, no one cares, more views on this, that, the other than your trophy lift. Absolute saddos, mate. Big up Lee Gunner in the chat as well, by the way. I see Lee in the chat, man. He's one of the very few Arsenal fans I know personally that he talks facts, man. He talks facts. He looks within his club. He talks about his club honestly. He looks at the issues within his club and doesn't blame other people. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't blame City and something we haven't been found guilty of for your club's failures. What your club is doing wrong is not Manchester City's fault. Manchester City didn't make Arsenal lose to Villa. Manchester City didn't make piss fall down the stairs of Old Trafford. Manchester City didn't make Pochettino an absolute shit show at Chelsea. And Manchester City didn't make Klopp fail to beat Pep Guardiola to more titles. I mean, Briggsy, it's getting ridiculous now because I'm getting more and more and more comments about this, and I can't wait. If people think I'm a dickhead now, I'm going to be the biggest dickhead on the internet when City are cleared, and I've never been so certain City will be cleared.
Well, all I've got to say is, right, pretend me and you are going for the same girl, and our options are me and you, like I say, and she says to me, Harry, I like you, but you're not my type. She goes for you, Hugh, and she goes for you and you're like, yes, get in. Whereas I'm absolutely annoyed and I start slagging you off, slagging her off. And it starts into a big drama all over social media just because I've got rejected. That's what this is like. Rival fans are pathetic. They can't handle what we as a club have created. I mean, we're this powerhouse, we're this monster. And rival fans don't know what's going on at our club. They just look at us and think, you know what, you're cheats, you're all scum. Let's go for them. Let's target Manchester City as a club rather than saying, fair play, Manchester City have built over time something very, very powerful. And we as a club are rubbish. We don't have the infrastructure. We don't have the ownership. We don't have the model Manchester City have got. They just want to look at us and go, yeah, do you know what? We're not good with rejection. We're not good with being good ourselves. Let's target you. Shut up. Accept. Manchester City is great. Manchester City is the goal of infrastructure and youth setup, all that sort of stuff. Transfer policy. Pathetic, you. And I know you've banged on about it over time, but like you say, it's just getting boring. And what can we do? It's not our fault. Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal, this red cartel, even Chelsea, in fairness. Nobody is good with rejection, and that's what it is. You just shit. Accept that your club's failing while ours is literally on top of the world. I don't know what more to say with this 115 stuff. I'm bored, and I was like, I moderate for LB as well, as some people in this chat know. And the other day when he was streaming after the title win, I was just like, let 115 be spammed. Because guess what? We, as a club, know where we stand. We are at this top level. We are peak. And everyone says, 115 in LB's chat. You're just bitter. You're just jealous. You're depressed. You're low-life scum. That's what you are. Accept it for what it is, because you have got no principles, no morals about Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United. You want to be Man City. You want to be it, but you're not it. And you can't accept that. Rejection's no good for you. These rival fans, seek help. Go to the doctors. Because guess what? When this 115 stuff is officially cleared, like Hugh just said, he's going to cook. I'm going to go to Manchester Piccadilly and I'm going to go have a nice party, mate. Few beers on Piccadilly Gardens and get absolutely steam-faced, because I am not going to let this die down. And that's the same for anyone else. If anyone wants to do that, come join me. Piccadilly Gardens, when it's all cleared, I'll be there. Social media, everyone's getting absolutely rinsed because you're no good with rejection. You're no good with your club's a failure, and ours is very successful and sustainable.
100%. I think you've summed it up, bro. We're all gonna party. We're all gonna party because what more can they say? What more can they say? I believe we're gonna be cleared in 2024 or 2025. Look, I've not heard anything myself about this, but this is Tolmy, and Tolmy apparently has very credible sources. He's the one saying this, that City are gonna be cleared in 2024. I don't care if it's 2024. I don't care if it's 2025. I don't care if it's 2035. Nothing is going to change the fact that we are just better than you. Do you know what I'm saying? We are just a better run club with better players, smarter heads. We do things better than you. Nothing's going to change that. And having Briggsy on the show today is probably a good thing because Briggsy goes home and away every single week, yeah? Briggsy's there for all the trophies. Briggsy's there going down to Fulham, going up to Burnley, going up to Wembley, around Europe, wherever you want. You think when Briggsy comes home after somewhere like West Ham last week lifting the league, you think when Briggsy comes home after, say, knocking out Real Madrid last season 4-0, you think when Briggsy comes back from Istanbul after winning a treble and he logs onto Twitter and you've got some little virgin going 115, 115, you think that memory's ruined for him? You think that day is ruined for him and you think he gives a shit? Mate, we're sitting on top of the pops right now. We're sitting on top of everybody. We're better than everybody right now, and they just can't hack it. And like I said, the last remaining thing they can dangle over us to try and discredit our dominance are these charges that we've not been found guilty of. And it's always the clubs that have been found guilty of stuff seem to make the most noise. Your Liverpools, your Man Uniteds, your Chelseas. These loser mentality clubs that can't look within. We did not make Chelsea appoint Pochettino. We did not make Abramovich have his mishaps and they had to give it to Todd Bowley. We did not make the Glazers own Manchester United. We did not make them appoint Eric Ten Hag. Do you know what I'm saying? We didn't. Manchester City and whatever bonuses they were given to Mancini, the length of our grass, the brightness of our floodlights, did not make any of these clubs make the decisions they made. But people can't accept that. It's pure and utter copium that we have come along, as Briggsy said, stole your girl, stole your chain, stole your house. Everything that English football has achieved, individual achievements over the course of however long it's been around, 100-odd years, the first division. Pep came along in 8 years and outdid pretty well anything. Outdid pretty well anything. And people don't like that, Joe. People don't like that. We've upset the heritage. We've upset the mainstream. We've upset the red cartel. And we've upset everybody who was comfortable and cushy in their seats. And all they can do is count to 115. Because before 115, it was, well, City are irrelevant and no one cares how many trophies they lift. Well, if you didn't care how many trophies we're lifting, why are you in my comment section? Why are you in our chat right now? Why are you on Twitter telling me all about 115 all the time if you don't care? Do you know what I'm saying, Joe?
It's the most broken narrative I've ever seen. The whole we don't care. You clearly care. Because, I mean, every time we win something, yeah, a few days will go by. It might be a little bit quiet. A few days will go by, and I will see an Arsenal fan or a Liverpool fan going, "Oh, it's crazy how it's been a few days and no one cares that City have won." I saw it. There was an Arsenal fan who said, literally 2 days after we won the title, "Crazy how 2 days later no one's talking about it." Mate, you've just talked about it. What do you mean you don't care? You've brought it up on this random, Tuesday afternoon. You've brought this up. No, nobody forced you to bring up our trophy. So I find it broken. They clearly care. Because they're all desperate to get rid of us. They're all desperate for us to be found guilty, for us to be banished to the shadow realm, be put in our place. Like, that's what they want, because they can't compete. How can we compete? They can't compete off the pitch because we just run too well. I mean, that's kind of where the argument's starting, is instead of looking inside their club, most of these rival fans have decided that, because we're run so well, it must be illegal. I mean, are we going to pretend that all the other 19 clubs in the Premier League are run squeaky clean? Are we going to pretend that we are the only club that has ever been accused of wrongdoing or ever been proven of wrongdoing? Look at Chelsea, transfer ban, United, FFP. Newcastle and Aston Villa, potential FFP trouble, having to potentially sell players before they get into trouble. Everton, points deduction. Forest, points deduction. Are we going to pretend like it's just us?
Don't forget Liverpool as well, Joe, with the hacking.
Liverpool with the 1 million settlement. Craig sat there. in his bedroom. I've seen the emails. You know what I mean? It's crazy how I get this is the biggest one. This is the biggest like legal case, but we are far from, everyone else is far from squeaky clean. It's not just a situation of everyone is run perfect and we're doing stuff dodgy. But if I was a rival fan, I'd be a bit like Lee Gunner, and I'd probably look inside and go, what can we do to be run better? Why is our youth academy not, making all of these prospects? I mean, half of these players, right, that have come through our youth academy that are smashing it aren't even still at the club anymore. You look at someone like Jadon Sancho, Champions League final, Brahim Diaz, Real Madrid, Champions League final. They're not at the club anymore, but they still came through our academy. Like, why is their academy not doing well? Some of them are. And then you look at signings. Man United spent more than us. They finished 8th. And we just won the league, and they've spent more than us. That's not a problem with it. We're not in trouble because we spent all this money. We've breached FFP, and we're dirty cheats, and we use oil money. United have spent more than us and have consistently finished below us every single season, having just finished 8th while we've won 4 in a row. It's nothing to do with money. It's all about how we're run. We've got a good coach, good backroom staff, got good board members. We're very, very well run at board level. But no one talks about this. Everyone just goes, they're too well run to be innocent. That's what it is. If we've had this narrative before, we've had this discussion before. If we weren't winning all the time, if we were like, say, I don't know, let's say the roles were reversed, right? And Liverpool had the success that we did, and we had the success that Liverpool did. We won a league, we won the Champions League, a couple of cups. No one would care. No one would care about 115 because we hadn't really won anything. It's only because we've been dominant that people are like, yeah, okay, I'm gone.
Lee says you should make 115 merch. Trust me, Lee. Trust me on this. When we are cleared of this, I'll be doing a lot more than just merch. I won't be selling anything now. I'm not going to try and make money off it. I'll be spraying champagne bottles. I'll be getting Gucci sunglasses. I am going to be the biggest prick of all time when we are cleared of this, because I'm sick of all the losers unwilling to look at their own clubs. They spend more time looking at City and preying on City's legal downfalls than they do on their own clubs. You'll know exactly who I'm talking about here now, Lee. When after your game against Everton, the last day of the season, there was a certain fan cam went up from outside the Emirates, and some bald Daniel Levy lookalike said, "You know what? I'd rather be here than I would outside the Etihad right now, because we're doing things right. I'd rather be in Arsenal shoes than I would in Manchester City shoes." Shut up, you big fucking loser. That's exactly what a loser would say. You're happy to be a loser. You'd rather be outside the stadium that's not just lifted a trophy. Instead, you're looking at the replica podium that you'd done a dress rehearsal on the day before, going, wouldn't it have been amazing if we got to actually fucking use that? Whereas the club you're saying you'd rather not be is the one that has just used the real one for the 4th time in a row. The fuck you talking about? You'd rather be outside the Emirates. The fuck you talking about? All of you. Everyone who's not a City fan wishes that their club was doing what we're doing. You're doing dress rehearsals. We're doing the real fucking thing. I'd rather be in Arsenal shoes. Shut the fuck up. Would you fuck? Absolute delusion. We're doing things the right way. You're doing things the wrong way because you're not winning. Yeah? If you're not winning, you're doing things wrong. Simple as. You can complain about whatever way we do things, even though we've been found guilty of sweet fuck all, but I'll tell you for a fact, you're doing things wrong because you're not winning. Simple as. Innit, Briggsy? If you're not winning, you're not doing things right.
All I can say is, if they're not doing things right, then they need to have a look at themselves, a reality check, because if all you can think of is Manchester City, once Man United had been slapped up by Crystal Palace, and Arsenal when they got beat, who was it? Was it West Ham? No, it wasn't West Ham, was it? Villa. Who did Arsenal lose to that time? Villa. Yep. It's like that, right? All they can think of, straight after Villa, straight after Crystal Palace. Oh, Manchester City, 115, FFP. Why don't you just have a look and analyse, break down your own team's performance and team structure before slagging off our club? What has Manchester City done to you? I mean, we're all in the same age group, age 20s, yeah? And did we sit there in our childhoods slagging Manchester United off? We actually said, nah, this is painful, but this is humble to watch. Fair play, Man United. And we've come along. Oh, little Manchester City, this small club from Main Road. Bang. Now look at us. And all you want to do is slag the fuck out of us. Seriously. So like I said earlier, just go see a doctor, because if you can't accept something what is actually factual, that is respectful, Manchester City have built something, grown something, then football's not for you. In fact, not even any sport. I watch rugby league, and I say, at the minute, I've seen my club, Hull FC Rugby League, absolutely to the pits. But I've said other clubs are running it right. Our rivals from the other side of town, Hull KR, they are literally on top of the world. And everybody's saying, fair play to Hull KR, because their club is run well. The infrastructure, the youth setup, the training facilities, the transfer policy, it's everything. And it's the same with Manchester City. All you can think of is 115. Oh, you've built this team. Sorry, you've bought this team. No, we haven't bought this team. In fact, do you know what? I'm going to say this. Did Manchester United buy their team? Ronaldo, Rooney, Van der Sar, Vidic, Ferdinand, they bought their team. They bought their players. Fortunately, you have to spend in football. But some people just think Manchester City is the FFP cheats. Everybody's got players that they need to buy. I mean, Liverpool, they bought Fabinho. They bought Salah. They bought Van Dijk. 75 million for Van Dijk, just for an example. Sorry, is that not against FFP regulations, or does it only suit your political agenda when it suits you? We could just sit here and start slagging off everyone, but no, we're humble, we're respectful. We don't care about 115. We just acknowledge our team's foundations are successfully built. When we just praise our team, win, lose or draw. It's like, I travelled to Southampton in the Cup last season, and yeah, it was painful, that League Cup 2-0, but I didn't get on the players' backs. I didn't start saying, oh, it's Arsenal's fault, it's Liverpool's fault. No, I just said, we were crap, but we go again. And that's what it should be like for everybody involved. Premier League, Championship, League One, League Two, not just pitomise one club, because your team is run like a pack of shit.
Mm-hmm. Guys, there's 200 people in the building. Make sure you've hit that like button, man. Hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new. And there's a link in the chat if anybody wants to be a channel member before I die. Yeah, link in the chat to be a channel member. But listen, I'm just so ready for these charges to come to an end. I'm so ready to tell people the hard hitting truths, because right now, look, we've laughed at it for long enough. We've kind of said, right, we'll wait and see for long enough. But I can smell a D-Day. I can smell the day coming. I can sense the party coming, because there's a lot of noise, man. There's a lot of noise. We're hearing a lot of things. I'm going to look at some of these super chats now and see what some of you guys have to say. Get in your super chats if you want to have your say in this, because the chat's moving mad. Dr. Footy says, eat up the Chargers like how JP eats that booty. Damn, I didn't even know JP ate booty, man. But that's crazy, you know. Big up Tone says, hey lads, party time again soon, bring it on. I tell you, man, the party we have for getting cleared of these charges may be as big as any of the title parties we've had, because you know what? It clears our name. It clears our name. No one can say sweet fuck all. And I don't care if people say, oh, brown bags and you paid them off. That's just the final example of you refusing to come to terms with your club's mishaps and your club's failures and the way in which your club is run. That's the final nail in the coffin that proves you are unwilling to look at your own club, and you're always the victim, essentially. Always the victim. Nothing's ever your club's fault. Nothing's ever your fan base's fault. Nothing's ever your fault. Everything's Manchester City's fault. That's what I'll say. Because when we're cleared, boy, I promise you, you'll be hearing it all. You'll be hearing it all. And then Nick says United didn't have to deal with FFP and their dominance. Well, this is the thing. Nick. We've come through and we've upset the system. We've upset the way things were comfortable and the way things were where everyone was happy. You know what I'm saying? 2 or 3 clubs kind of sharing around the league, passing around like pass the parcel. Do you know what I'm saying? You have the league this year, the next red club will have it next year, and then someone else will come along in red and get it the year after. And then Manchester City come along and said, fuck the lot of you. We're going to take everything off you. Everything. No one questioned the amount of money Alex Ferguson was spending, because everyone was saying, oh, well, they must be a big club. They must have loads of money because they win loads of trophies. But when City win loads of trophies, they can't have loads of money. I tell you for a fact, anybody's telling me, people, yeah, City couldn't possibly have more money than Manchester United in 2023 or Arsenal or Liverpool in 2023. Of course they fucking can. Of course they can. Why not? Because all the brands, all the sponsorship companies, they want to attach themselves to the shiniest product. Yeah? Product placement. Who's the best team in the world? Who looks the best? Manchester City. So let me put my money into them. Of course they can fucking make more money in given years. But no one questioned that when Manchester United were spending the big money. And everyone goes, well, look how much they spent on that player and this player and Roy Keane and Ronaldo. Talk about inflation, yeah? Prices change. It's ignorance, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, the craziest part about it is... Now, how factual this is, I don't know, because I don't know what they used to calculate it, but I've seen the same headline of, you know, if you calculate inflation with Fergie's signings, he's the highest spending manager in the Premier League era. Like, he spent more than anyone else if you adjust the prices to inflation. Because, of course, back in the day, you know, all the signings that he made, they on paper look really, really cheap. But again, that was just the time frame. Like, it's hard to compare eras in many sports, this one included, especially when it comes to spending. But again, you adjust to inflation, then like he's up there. He's up there with the top spenders. So you can't say he didn't spend. And this whole FFP thing was brought in mainly for us, but a little bit Chelsea as well, because they obviously got an injection themselves. And it was to stop things like us happening again. They didn't want another competitor. So, you know, when you had United, Liverpool, Arsenal, when they were going and ding-donging and, like you said, pass the parcel, here you have a league title, here you have a league title. When they were doing all of that, there was no FFP because it was a nice little circle of all friendship, happiness. They'd share the league and they'd go again next season. And when, you know, when Chelsea came along, when we came along and we upset the cartel, we upset the system and started winning a few things ourselves, it was like, hold on, we can't be having this. Let's cap them. Let's make it so that they can't just spend what they have. And you're seeing the effects that it's having on the league down now. It's not stopped us from being successful, and it's hampering the quality of the league. Look at Newcastle. How many times have you heard they have to, like I said before, how many times have you heard that they have to sell players, sell one of their best players to comply with FFP? Look at Aston Villa, who've just qualified for the Champions League. There's a lot of noise on whether they can actually spend this summer because of FFP. Everton, points deduction, battling relegation. Forest, points deduction, battling relegation. You know, they're trying to protect these clubs from spending, but realistically, right? Take the Everton and the Forest one for more of an example on this one. If they would have got relegated because they would have been docked points, they would have taken an even bigger financial hit for getting relegated than they would have for maybe overspending by like 10 million. That's the reality of the situation. It's this FFP and spending rules are actually just hampering clubs in general. And it's not providing a fair competition. Like, it wouldn't be very fair because Newcastle have the richest owners in the Premier League. It wouldn't be very fair if they just went and spent all the money in the world, all the best players. But they should still be able to spend. It's not like they're in danger of going, you know, broke or bankrupt or having to fold. Like, there's no danger of that. They should be able to spend. You should want, as a business owner, in a competitive setting, you should want competitiveness. You should encourage competitiveness. You should want this league to be the best in the world. And you get that by having multiple teams who can compete. And the reason no one can compete with us is because the clubs who are allowed to spend money are absolutely fucking terrible at doing it and always get it wrong. I'm looking at United and Chelsea at the moment. And then the clubs who are making good signings and making good progress aren't allowed to spend. So they can't catch up. They're not allowed to catch up. And that's the problem that we've got, realistically, with competition. I mean, for some reason, we are getting slagged off for running an extremely profitable and an extremely successful business just because we spend money to make it successful. It's completely backwards.
It's totally backwards. It's keeping the rich rich and keeping the poor poor. That's the idea. A total monopoly. But we have some breaking news just to talk about charges unrelated to us specifically. It's looking like Lucas Paqueta's off. We are not going to be getting Lucas Paqueta. Matt Hughes, the Daily Mail, says Lucas Paqueta set to be charged for breaching FA rules. With Dream Man City move in danger of collapsing for second successive summer. Apparently they were looking at 3 specific yellow cards identified for suspicious betting. So it's looking like he's going to actually be charged, Lucas Paqueta. It's looking like that deal is off. It's disappointing. It's disappointing. I mean, obviously, we knew this was 50-50. We knew it could go wrong. We were all hoping to get Paqueta if he was cleared, but there's plenty of other options out there, Briggsy. Lucas Paqueta, I don't know how long of a suspension he's facing. I've not read the full article yet, but that's just what it says.
Yeah, well, I mean, Paqueta, I mean, it's been in doubt for over a good year now, hasn't it? I mean, they've got to meet that deadline for next week, so they've had to do something, whether he's cleared or whether he's charged. And like you just said there, he's charged, so we can't do nothing about that, because if we sign him, we'll just look like fools walk, because, I mean, we're signing a player that's getting charged and busted. But what can you do? In terms of who we go for next, I'm sure there's going to be names knocking about in the summer. I'd still fancy Leroy Sané. I don't know why, but then you've got, like we're going to discuss later, Company going over there now, so that might be a bit more difficult to pull. But Leroy Sané, for me, if we could bring him home. And I mean, with the Paqueta thing, you just look at how long did it take Newcastle to sign Tonali? There was difficulties with that signing, wasn't there? So it's a bit of a strange one.
Fabrizio's on it now. He says official Lucas Paqueta has been charged by the FA with misconduct in relation to alleged breaches of FA rules. It's alleged that he directly sought to influence the progress, conduct, or any other aspect of or occurrence in these matches by intentionally seeking to receive a yellow card from the referee for the improper purpose of affecting the betting market in order for one or more persons to profit from betting. Lucas Paqueta has been charged with 2 breaches. The player has until the 3rd of June to provide a response. So he's fucked. Paqueta's fucked. We're not getting Paqueta. We can forget about Lucas Paqueta. And do you know what I say to that? It is what it is. It is what it is. You know what I mean? He's not the be-all and end-all. Would I have liked him? Yes, 100%. But we have a fantastic board in place who have given us plenty of success and plenty of great transfers. There will be plenty more fish in the sea. It just means City now have to spread their wings a bit further and look for someone else, I suppose, Joe. Because we definitely do need reinforcements.
It's disappointing. I mean, the biggest disappointment for that for me is why on earth it took so long. Like, if he's guilty, he's guilty. Like, let us know. Like, just why? Why is it taking a year? Why is it taking a full almost calendar year? It's ridiculous. These allegations came out at the start of the season. We've just played through it, ended it, and now he's getting charged. I just don't understand. I mean, we've completely made the right decision in not taking the gamble of signing him. I mean, pardon the pun, but in choosing to just wait and see how this pans out, it's the right decision because it's a big signing. What, 80 million for a player who's probably going to get a suspension? I mean, it's the right thing to do, but again, it's one of these weird things, isn't it? Where I get it, you shouldn't gamble on yourself. You shouldn't, influence the betting market. But I find it ridiculous how many gambling sponsors there are in football, and they just expect all of these professional athletes who are surrounded by various different betting markets to just completely ignore that when they see it on a daily basis. I just find it weird how it's openly accepted for gambling sponsors to be a thing, but when a footballer has a little dabble, it's 12-month suspension. You're gone for a year.
Joe, just picking one example at random, right? Stoke City, Bet365 Stadium when it was named that. I mean, children go to football matches, don't they? Are you going to try and say to children, you can't bet even though your stadium name's called the Bet365 Stadium? And like when you've just mentioned there with footballers, it's the same. It's pathetic, and you've got all these adverts like Sky Sports, TNT, just before the match starts. They'll do the build-up, and then before the club's anthem, whether it's Blue Moon, You'll Never Walk Alone, they'll go to a betting advert rather than just a general advert. Why?
It's exactly, Briggsy. It's weird, the fact that football is a global game. It's an audience for all people, children as well, like you said. And the fact that there's so many betting and gambling sponsors in football is ridiculous. Like, they should know the market, or at least have, the proper tools in place to be able to deal with it properly, not just stick all of these markets everywhere and then just go, here's a helpline, gamble away.
Yeah, it does seem very counterproductive and hypocritical. I mean, they're happy to take the gambling sponsors' money, but so on and so forth. At the end of the day, look, he shouldn't be gambling. He shouldn't be gambling. A professional footballer shouldn't be gambling, especially not on himself. So look, if he's guilty and he's been charged and so on and so forth, you know what I mean, he deserves a suspension in my opinion. But I do take the point on board about promoting gambling and, you know, stadiums named after gambling companies. It shouldn't be something that's promoted. But look, it is what it is. Trust Tiki, exactly, Fraser. Trust Tiki, trust the board. They'll have a plan. They're going to have to. Look, Paqueta, of course, was the main target. He absolutely was the main target, but he's not the only player they'd look at. I'm sure they have a list of players that they're interested in, as long as my forearm full of names that they'll delve into, and they'll move elsewhere. We will get an alternative to Paqueta. It's just about who that is. So you have to trust who's in place. They haven't done us very wrong up to now. So I'm excited. We'll do more streams throughout the summer on this. It'll be interesting to see where City take it. But for now, Paqueta is not coming to Manchester City. I'm disappointed for him. I'm disappointed for us because he's a very good player. I think he would have fit into our team very well. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Play silly games, win silly prizes, as they say. Let me get back to these super chats, people. Big up William. He says, I can't wait to watch the Twitter meltdown when we were found innocent. I cannot wait for the city to expose the Premier League. Mate, when that happens, yeah? When that happens and we are cleared of these charges, I fully believe we will be now. I fully believe we'll be cleared of these charges. It may be the greatest day in internet history for entertainment, yeah? The meltdown will be unbelievable. And I tweeted about this the other day. It's got like 2,000 odd likes or something. And most of the comments, hundreds of comments, people saying, nobody will care. You know what I mean? It'll be 24 hours just like when your trophy lift happened, and then 24 hours later, no one will care. Yet there's hundreds of you telling me you don't care. If there's hundreds of you telling me you don't care, what will the response be like when it actually happens? Do you know what I'm saying? And then the second part of your super chat is interesting. If City are cleared, where do they take that? Because City, knowing City and Khaldoon the way they are, they're abrupt. They will not just accept, okay, we've been cleared, our name is cleared, you know, let's forget it, let bygones be bygones, let's be friends again. No, they will try to take people down. They will try to take people down who tried to take us down, and rightly so. It'll be a crazy day, Briggsy, and I'm ready for it, man. I'm going to get the 115 champagne out. I'm going to get a City jersey with 115 on it, and we should all be there.
Guys, I've got a couple of things to say on this. If you're a channel member, please spam the 115 emoji right now, because you're going to like this. So, what I'm going to talk about is, I seen a Twitter clip the other day of Khaldoon's end of season review on Twitter the other day, and he says at the end of it, if anyone can remember, he's talking about, he can't say nothing for legal reasons, but he says, when it's all resolved, my response will be very, very blunt. That's Khaldoon saying that on last season's end of season Manchester City review on the YouTube channel. He talks about, I'm going to be very blunt, but I'll be open about it. And if he's going to be very blunt, I expect something to kick off between Man City and the Premier League even further. Why would you say that on YouTube to all your fans, that you're going to come out with a blunt response, but then not go further down the line with the Premier League? It is going to kick off. It's going to continue, this 115 stuff, once it's officially cleared, or potentially, just saying this, potentially, we're found guilty, but we should be cleared. It's going to kick off, and if we don't get compensation, if we don't sue Richard Masters, then I don't know what Khaldoon's doing, but we've all got good faith in him. We know that he's going to rip Richard Masters apart, and it's going to be very, very juicy and very entertaining when the Premier League are going to literally lose everything they've built over the last 30 years just because Manchester City have literally took them to the cleaners like we did with UEFA with the cash situation. You've got to think about it. If we don't take the Premier League down after it's all been resolved, like, are we just expected to walk away scot-free as a fan base as well? Because Manchester City fans will hope, me in particular for one, I'll hope that he does something and it's going to literally blow up, because how can Richard Masters just walk away scot-free and think, you know what, I tried to take Man City down, but it hasn't worked and I'm still in a job? No, mate. You're going to get absolutely roasted by Manchester City club. You're going to be out of a job, mate, whether it's carrying a fucking lollipop. You won't be doing that, mate. You'll be on dole, mate, if he's not careful, because I expect Khaldoon to stick by his words of that end of season review last season and say he's going to be blunt and it's going to be open. And I hope something does happen, because Khaldoon, I mean, you're talking about business people here. You're talking about livelihoods as well. It's not just to do with Manchester City. It's to do with everyone involved. So it's like why don't you start questioning the Etihad Airways? Like, I mean, our stadium sponsor. Why don't you start questioning people who are doing the finances? People are like involved in stadium management. Just for example, there's a lot to be questioned here. If you're going to say 115, so all these bit of rivals. Just for going back to that, all these bit of rivals, you don't know nothing, such as Craig, such as Mark Goldbridge, and I can't stand Mark Goldbridge.
Hello.
Mark, if you're watching this, I swear to God, when 115 is cleared, you're going to look like the biggest idiots on the internet, mate. All them social media clicks, all them YouTube videos you've done, mate, it's all for money. And when you get that cease and desist letter, whether it's come through or not, it's going to come through, mate. You're not going to be able to feed your children. You're not going to be able to do nothing because you've blackened Man City's name so much. It'll hurt you so bad. It's not just about Richard Masters. It's about everyone. Is it Rory Jennings? He's also given Man City a few digs. Is that the guy, sorry?
I don't know if Rory has. I don't know who has. Maybe he has.
Yeah, Craig as well, for one. All these people, Manchester City will gun and hose everyone down. Never mind the Premier League. It won't be the end of it after 115. I mean, all these rival fans, they'll just think, you paid the Premier League off, here's a bit of cash. No, we're actually innocent, like the UEFA incident. Why don't you do some research and do some background information before just assuming the worst of Manchester City? Once it's all done, it's done, but it's not done. Because Manchester City, like Caldoon said, he will not hold the Premier League for all this ransom over the last 3 or 4 years. Well, even going back since 2011.
True. Joe, what do you think on that? Should City look for blood when cleared?
I think they should. I want them to. Whether they should, it's hard to tell because you don't want to completely break the relationship, do you? You don't want to completely break things down. But again, they brought this on themselves. They made the charges. They made the accusations. If they don't have sufficient evidence to prove that we've done these things, why come out in the first place and say we have? Why charges? It's very serious stuff. So I'd want them to at least to try and do something, because again, these are serious charges with potentially serious outcomes, relegation, stripping of titles. These are the things being mentioned. This is how serious the situation is. So with all that being said, you can't just walk away with an innocent verdict and feel like all has been said and done, because it just feels like a disservice. This has been going on for 18 months, potentially bordering on 2 years by the time this thing maybe comes to a close. Like, there's been a long process, and no progress either. Like, we've not heard a single thing until now, pretty much, from people like Ptolemy saying, we think we're going to be all right, we're probably going to be cleared. Like, we haven't heard anything official from anyone. Like, anyone saying anything official, because you're not going to. So it's basically been 18 months to 2 years of you're guilty, you cheats, 115, and people just running away with that. So I'd want the club to take it further, but I just don't know whether they will. You say they're ruthless, and they are, so I hope they do try and take it further, but I don't know, because like I said, you don't want to completely burn bridges, because long term, not having a good relationship with your own league, probably not a good thing.
We'll see.
Can I just add on that? Sorry.
Go on, Briggsy. Go on.
Like I just said, I've mentioned 3 to 4 years. Like you just said with the case there, Joe, it's been nearly 2 years now, but it's probably been 3 to 4 years because, I mean, they've had to build a dossier. They've had to build what can we charge you on. They've had to go through all the evidence and review what they've got, apparently, and review it. So it's probably been on since start of COVID, if you like.
Yeah, they've been at this for ages. You go back as far as the Cass case as well. This is this is not the first time we've been tried to be taken down, is it? So I think City should go for blood. Let me get back to these super chats, people. Quick reminder to hit the like button, man. Nearly 300 people here. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. We're on the road to 9K. Would appreciate all your support. And link in the chat if anybody wishes to become a channel member, like Briggsy here on screen with us. He's a channel member. If you become a channel member, you're more than welcome to come on as well. But great to have Briggsy here with us. Let me get into these super chats again. Streffion says, with us, it used to be money doesn't buy trophies. Exactly. It used to be. When we started spending money and building to what we are now, it was, oh, you won't be able to buy success, and your success means nothing because you're spending so much money when we did win. Do you know what I'm saying? When we did start to win trophies originally, it was, oh, well, you're just buying your success. And then you had clubs spending more money than us and not getting success. So that didn't wash. That argument didn't wash. So look, do you know what I mean? They can't have it every single way. That's what I'm saying. These 115 charges are the last remaining piece of string they can hold on to try and discredit Manchester City. And when it's cleared, just sit on that. Just sit on that. Big up our king, our Lord and Savior, professional idiot, the king of the members. I was just talking about members there. Professional idiot is the king of our members here. He is our Lord and Savior, as I said. He says, Hugh, it will be time to create 115 merch and make sure to promote it heavily on the Big Six if we are cleared. Rile up those red cartel fans. I will have plenty of plans in place, professionally. Trust me, when we are cleared, I will look, I'm humble on the Big Six more often than not. People think I don't show enough chest. Trust me, I've been humble when we won the Champions League. I've been humble when we've won 4 in a row. When we get cleared of these charges, I will not be humble because too many people have had fun, have had made content, and have made money off the back of City's charges. So I will not be humble when it comes to that. I promise you, I will be right there. I'll have my chest out. I'll be reminding people that we're just better than you. There's nothing more you can say. Manchester City are just better than you. Simple as. So trust me, professionally on that. Trust me, we'll be there. Everybody keep your receipts. Everybody keep your receipts. Don't put those receipts in the bin. Remember everything everyone said. Everyone. No one should go unscathed. If they open their mouth wrongly, no one should go unscathed. Any content, any conversations, any laughs, any demeaning comments, no one should go scot-free. Yeah? We've been held to ransom for these 18 months over these charges that we've not been found guilty for. So trust me, the roles will get reversed. Trust me on that. Big up professional idiot. And then American Cop, big up to you, American Cop. He says, if true, I apologize and you are deserving champions. You know what? Big up to you, American Cop. If only there was more Liverpool fans and Arsenal fans like you. If true, if we're cleared. Big up to you, American Cop. Do you know what I'm saying? There is good people out there. There's plenty of people who say, look, we'll just wait and see what happens to City. They could be cleared. They could be found guilty. Just sit in that. But you know what I'm talking about, Briggsy? It's the people who spoke too soon. It's the people who were happy to have fun and make content off the back of this that should be held accountable for everything they did over the past 18 months.
Well, just picking names out at random, Saeed, humble guy. I mean, I've watched a couple of his streams, and he's like, yeah, respect to Man City. My club's shit. My club's in the dogs. Whereas your Mark Goldbridges, your Craigs, they're just like, oh, let's slander Manchester City. Let's just rinse everyone apart without knowing the actual facts. I mean, if you look at someone like Saeed, fair play to him. He's acknowledged where Manchester City's at and where Manchester United's at in 2024. And he's not digging up 10 years of debt. He's digging up today's events of Manchester United and Manchester City. Manchester City run successfully. Manchester United run like crap. He's actually said that loads of times. And like when you was on Big Six the other night, Hugh, you said, I'm not going to come on and say I'm going to come on and be respectful. Because that's what you are, and that's what Saeed is. Whereas, like I just said, Mark Goldbridge and Craig, even Simon Jordan, it's just like, what do you know about 115? What do you know about Manchester City's structure inside and outside the football pitch? You don't know next to nothing. Have you got contacts or something? Like, how come Craig's seen this email, but Hugh, you aren't? And how come even Big Steve aren't? How come LB aren't? What are we missing here? Has Craig got inside contacts with Manchester City now? Don't comment until you don't know the full facts. That's why us as a fan base, we're all humble. We just say, let's get on with it and see when the day comes, whether it's guilty or whether it's innocent, because nobody knows nothing, next to nothing. And why can't people on Twitter, all these keyboard warriors, just accept that and just say, you know what? Let's just wait till the big day is announced. Let's just wait till we see Manchester City's guilty and then tear them apart, or Manchester City's innocent. And you know what? Say, fair play. We was all wrong. We was all wrong. We should have just said Manchester City's infrastructure is 10 out of 10. No, all you care about is clicks, views. Oh, please like me stream, please like me stream. Manchester City's in crisis. Nah, mate. If we're in a crisis, how come we've just won 4th league title in a row? 4. Mark Goldbridge, you've only seen Manchester United do 3, mate. 3. And guess what? Mark Goldbridge don't even go to Old Trafford. Guys, I'm from Hull, yeah? I'm from Hull, disabled, right? And guess what? I travel home, away, Europe, and I don't get gobby about Man United. I don't get gobby about the Scousers. Do you know what? I'd say, like I just said earlier, I was humble about the 2000 era, so I was growing up then. But you look at some people like Mark Goldbridge, Man City's in crisis. Man City's in crisis. How are we in crisis, Mark? Do your research, mate. Come on, do your research. We're going to put you to bed on Saturday. We're going to put you lot. Well, to be fair, mate, you're not going. Saeed's going. And Saeed will say, if we get beat, fair play, because we're crap. Mark Goldbridge will be like, Man City are paying the referee. Man City paid the referee. Do you remember that Jack Grealish penalty last year, yeah? Yeah. Do you know when you scored your only goal at Wembley, Goldbridge? Yeah. Let's talk about that. Don't you mean you paid the referee? But no, Manchester City got on with it like last year. We got on with it. We won the game. And we're about to win another game, hopefully. And if we do win this, it's another record broken, a back-to-back double. Nobody's ever done that in this country. But some people say, it's all about money. It's all about FFP. 115. Guys, do you know what? Spam 115 in the chat. If you remember, use the emoji that Joe set up for you, please. 115, because I am going to have a great weekend with my mate Jack, who's in the chat. We're going to go down to London, and when we win that double, well, I'll say if we win that double, it's going to be absolutely fun. And the parade on Sunday night, I'm looking forward to that, because these rival fans, they don't know what we're witnessing. All they see is FFP 115. No, it's about a team that's playing. It's about a club that's creating a successful infrastructure. Rant over.
Couldn't agree anymore. Genuinely, absolute chat. Fire emojis for Briggsy in the chat, man. Fire emojis for Briggsy coming through with the facts. Yeah,
He was
and all the channel
kind.
members.
He was so kind to Goldbridge there. Are you sure he's seen 3 in a row? Pretty sure he's a glorified Forest fan.
He's a bit of both. He says he's got Manchester United shirts. He says he played on Old Trafford pitch. So allegedly, you played on Old Trafford pitch, lad. Allegedly, you've got Manchester United shirts. Allegedly, you've got a studio in Manchester that you own. Nah, mate, don't you mean Manchester City Council own that?
The facts, people. Joe, hit the. Come on, man.
I don't
Facts.
have that. I don't have
Do
that.
the siren. Do something. That's fact, people. Briggsy, the man. The man. Big up everybody in the chat spamming the fire emojis for Briggsy and the 115 emojis that Joe made. If you're a member, you can access them. Bevo, I see you in the chat, man. I promise you, next week is the week. Next week is the week. See, Briggsy's on Discord, so we're able to get Briggsy on. Join our Discord server, Bevo. I know you're a channel member. If not, I'll be able to get you on StreamYard next week. I promise, mate. I've not forgotten about you. But Briggsy, speaking of facts, though, Briggsy's shutting the place down. I can't lie. That was sick, man. That was sick. Guys, hit the like button and subscribe if you're new around here. Link in the chat if anybody does wish to be a channel member. Right, let's talk a bit about the game on Saturday. Me and Joe will do a full preview tomorrow, predicted 11, all that good stuff. But we have Briggsy here. So, Briggsy, how are you feeling about this? And the league, obviously, of course, back-to-back doubles, as you said, never done before. Do you feel good going into this game?
Well, I was on BBC Radio Manchester last week, and I said to them briefly, I'm looking forward to it. And the way Manchester United are going on form, and the way we've picked up a gear compared to what we was at Christmas, we've picked up levels while they're dropping levels. So I won't be surprised if it's an absolute tonking, especially compared to last year's derby. It won't be another 2-1. I'm not being funny, but this could be another 3, 4, 5. I mean, what injuries have Manchester United got? Because if they've got a few injuries, it could be a long afternoon. And I'm looking forward to it because it's going to be nice to see, again, sorry, Matt Goldbridge. Well, I'm not sorry because you're not sorry about 115. But Manchester City could literally do a demolition job. It could be similar to the Watford final. I said to Jack Lee last night, I said, I have been funny, but I could see that Watford final was a tougher test than Manchester United this weekend, just based on the form alone.
Yeah, they're in shit, man. They're in shit, Joe. There's no way they should be beating us on Saturday. Let's be real. I know a derby form goes out the window and it's cup final, anything can happen, but logic. If logic prevails, we really should be winning this game.
I'm just looking at their their last starting 11, and my
What was
God,
it?
right, their last starting 11: Brighton, last day of the league season. Onana, Wan-Bissaka, Dalot, Martinez, who only played I think about an hour because he's only just back from injury. Casemiro, that guy's washed. That guy's finished. Casemiro, he's done. Mainu,
Crystal
Amrabat,
Palace.
Crystal Palace, Garnacho, Diallo. It was basically a 4-4-2 with Fernandes in a false nine and McTominay up front. Mate, I'm being fucking serious when I say this. That is bang average. I'm not surprised they finished 8th. In terms of injuries, I don't really see any big misses. I'm seeing Rashford came off the bench, Varane came off the bench, Eriksen, Højlund. They have players back, but still, that United side, it might be, unless I'm forgetting, but I think this is the worst United side I have ever seen. It's the worst United side I've seen in my existence. They are so poorly coached, so just poorly ran from board level, but in terms of on the pitch, coaching is a massive issue. Players actually giving a shit is a massive issue. Players playing well is an issue. They don't really have many form players. It's a mess. It's a mess, but they have something to play for, I believe. They didn't finish in the European spot, so if they want to be playing in Europe next season, they have to win the cup.
Yeah, I'm just being honest, people. I don't see a world where they beat us. I don't see a world where they beat us. I really don't, Briggsy. It's actually without coming across too arrogant, we're just streets ahead of them. Do you know what I'm saying? After winning our 4th league in a row, all their fans speaking about how ominous it feels, they just shouldn't be beating us.
Well, do you know when we always have this spring momentum and we start winning games? That's what it's become. We've started winning games now compared to, like I say, where we was at Christmas. We was in that dire run. It wasn't pretty to watch. Even a little bit in February, it wasn't pretty. But now we're playing well as well. That's getting the results. We're playing well, whereas United are literally might as well call casualty. We might as well watch Casualty, boys. Do you know what I mean? Anyone fancy a game of Casualty tonight? Sorry, watch Casualty. Don't know where I got a game from. But if you look at United, they're literally on the injury list. And are they really going to play for Ten Hag? Because Ten Hag's on about being sacked, isn't he, apparently? So that's another manager issue. And will the players see their futures there if Ten Hag's gone? It's very difficult to see us literally losing to Manchester United because of the things I've said. Injuries, form. One team's flying, the other's literally sinking. Might as well. It's like Titanic in a way. Manchester United are going for the Titanic while we're literally creating history in front of our eyes. And you just got to think, if we somehow lost that game, I'm just going to say this, if we did somehow lose, it's going to be a very, very long summer for us all. Because how could we take losing to Manchester United? It'd be painful for us Blues. And then me and Joe, as English people, we've got to sit there and watch Gareth Southgate football after losing to Manchester United. I'll literally stick pins in my eyes. I'll literally cry in Wembley thinking we've lost, and then we've got to watch Gareth Southgate football. If we win, somehow I can enjoy Gareth Southgate football. But if we lose, it'll be literally, I don't want the summer to come. I don't want anything else. I'll just think life's over.
Like I said,
I'm clocking out if that happens. I'm not watching Southgate ball if we lose. I'm gone for a summer.
Exactly. And I just want to say this quickly as well. Phil Foden, where's he going to play for England?
Oh dear.
At the play of the year.
I don't know.
Hopefully nowhere, man. I'd be perfectly happy if Foden doesn't play for England. Let him have a nice summer off.
Play him on the wing.
Oh, it's a waste. It's a waste, man.
Play of the year.
No, I'd be perfectly happy if no City fan or no City players are playing for England this summer.
Foden on the bench, rest him. I hope so, mate.
Just go IB for us, something. Just go on holiday.
Yeah, man. Right, chat. Me and Joe are going to do a full preview tomorrow. I didn't want to talk about it too much. Just want to get Briggsy's quick thoughts. We've been on it over an hour now, so we're going to wrap it up. It's been an absolutely fantastic stream. Time flies when you're having fun. Briggsy, absolute shut it down today, man. Pleasure to have you on, bro. We'll get you on again next week. I want to get you on regularly, man. The chat seems to enjoy listening to you. It's been sick, bro. Our first ever channel member, by the way, people. Let's get some fire in the chat again for Briggsy. Our first ever channel member. Absolutely fantastic today. Anybody else wants to be like Briggsy, there's a link in the chat to become a channel member. But Briggsy, sick today, mate. Massive thank you for coming on.
It's been a pleasure. I mean, we've worked together when we did City Extra fan cams at the start of the season, and people seem to enjoy them. So I'd be on for coming back on next week after we've won our double. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Right, chat. Back tomorrow, 3:30 for the full preview for the game. Predicted 11 score predictions. Going to chat about it, dive deep into it myself and Joe. Please hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe if you're new around here. Leave all your comments down below if you're watching on playback. And link top of description and in the chat if anybody wishes to become a channel member. Until tomorrow, in a bit, blues.